the analytical method is. Disadvantage is like it is applicable for only simple problems. Okay. For complex problems, you cannot write mathematical equations in the analytical method. So that is a disadvantage of analytical method. Okay. Same thing I have explained, like it cannot give solution to the real life problems where there are complex material properties, irregular geometries, nonlinear boundary conditions. Okay. Now anyone can differentiate between the experimental and analytical method in two minutes. Can anyone do that? So anyone from mechanical C can answer. Can you just explain me about what is difference between experimental method and analytical method? Can anyone? Anyone in there? Tejashwi Narsimha, are you there? I forgot all your names and roll numbers. Please differentiate between experimental and analytical method. You first explain what is similarities and what is dissimilarities between experimental method and analytical method.
No, sir, I forgot.
So then you have to listen. So all of you please take this as a chance and listen. So experimental method is a real-time method. You need to have a physical prototype. Whereas for analytical method, physical prototype is not required. We solve it as mathematically. Okay. So both experimental method and analytical method gives you the 100% result. But these methods fail when you have complex material properties, irregular geometries, and when you have non-linear boundary conditions. Okay. So I hope you got the gist of this topic. Tejashwi Narsimha, again, explain me what I have spoke just few minutes back. Now you cannot say that I forgot. Unmute yourself. I guess C5 name. Okay. Next question I'll be asking C5. Be ready, Ravi Teja. Okay. Tejashwi, please answer.
Oh, should I answer? Just you explained about
Okay, not an issue. I don't want to waste time.
experimental medicine. Okay.
Okay. So I'll just go into the topics. Today's class will be just like icebreaker session. I know that I can go directly into the problems and explain, because you people lost touch with this subject. So I am just focusing on these basics just to break the ice. Okay. So what is numerical method? When these two, experimental method and analytical method, fails to give solution, there comes the numerical method. So numerical method is also a mathematical method, just like analytical method. But there is some difference that we will see in the upcoming slides. Okay. So numerical method is a mathematical representation, approximations of assumptions made, applicable even if prototype is not available. So one thing you need to remember is, like in the numerical method, you will get approximate results. Okay. So we can always increase the accuracy of the results, but we can never achieve exact results like analytical method or experimental method. So again, you will get a question like why we are going to numerical methods. So why we are going to the numerical methods is like when you have no solution in both experimental method and analytical method, you are relying on the approximate method called numerical method, where it can generate only approximate methods. There is like a famous quote, something is better than nothing. Like in that scenario only we use numerical methods. Okay. So based on that, a designer predicts and design any component. Okay. So just see this. What is analytical method and numerical method? So as I said, both analytical method and numerical methods are mathematical methods. So in both the methods, you convert a physical problem into a mathematical problem by writing the governing equation. G5 raised hand. What's your issue? Unmute yourself and speak up. If you have any doubt, you can unmute and speak up at any time. No need of raising hands. G5. Okay, by mistake, he might have raised hand. So I have liberty of taking extra classes since because every day at last hour I have classes. Okay. So what are the common steps involved in the analytical method and numerical method is, first step is governing equation. Second one is finding the mathematical solution. Okay. So for the numerical methods, step 1 and step 2, you have assumptions. So since you are using those assumptions, that's the reason you will get approximate solutions. Okay. So I'll pick a roll number. That person should explain me about what is a numerical method. Okay. So what is the basic theme of numerical method? Okay. I'll post it on the screen. All of you read it. And I may ask someone. So C2 already answered from C section. So I'll go with the K2 is active. So K2, please unmute yourself and answer what is numerical method.
We will make equations to the like problem and we'll solve them.
Okay, that's okay. So if you see on the screen, all of you listen. So what is the basic theme of numerical method is, you will calculate solutions at only certain points. In between 2 points, if you want the solution, you have to interpolate the results. Okay, that is the basic concept of numerical method. Okay, I repeat again, basic theme of all numerical methods is to make calculations at only limited number of points or at only critical points. Okay, that is called numerical method. So you all know, like, since you have gone through this subject, those critical points are called nodes. Okay, that interpolation function is called shape function. Okay, so even before getting solution, we have to assume the equation of the domain. So that is the numerical method. It's not about like equation and solving. You will calculate, you will solve that equation and find out solutions at only certain number of points and try to interpolate result in between the 2 points. Okay, that is the concept of numerical method. So there are various types of numerical methods like finite element method, boundary element method, finite volume method, finite difference method. Okay, so this we'll see about from here. Derivation part starts. So theory part is over. Theory is very less in the FEM subject. Okay, so I want to check how many of you are active. All of you raise your hands. Ravi sir, please take attendance. Whoever raised hands, to them only give attendance.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Okay, I'll wait for a few minutes and I ask questions to people who haven't raised hands. Okay, so before learning FEM, we are interested to learn about introduction to the solid mechanics equations. So we'll see what is stress and equilibrium. So let us consider a 3-dimensional body which is rigid. Okay, so we will see what is stress and equilibrium equations. So fundamental concepts in solid mechanics needed for development of FEM. So let us consider a volume, 3D volume, which is a rigid body. which is a deformable body. So it is fixed at a certain end where displacement is 0, and it is having 3 types of loads: body force, traction force, point load. Body force is a volumetric force. It acts throughout the body. So unit of body force will be Newton per meter cube. Okay. So gravity is example for the body force, or centrifugal force is example for body force. Next is traction. Traction is a surface force. Unit of traction is Newton per meter square. Point load unit is Newton. Okay. So why I am explaining this units is, so when you are solving problems or derivations in the upcoming units, you should know what is the unit of body force, what is the unit of traction, what is unit of point load. If you do not know what is unit of all these 3 forces, then ultimately you will solve the problem wrongly. Okay. So let me check how many of you have listened the units of 3 types of forces. Okay. So today's date is 13. 3 plus 1 is 4. So C4, can you answer C4 or C5? What are the units of body force, traction, and point load? C5, Raviteja, can you answer? So anyone answer what is the unit of body force, point load, and traction? K2, answer.
Sir,
Units of body force, traction, and point load. Body. I'll repeat again. Listen. If I'm
okay, sir.
explaining, everyone should listen. Body force is a volumetric force. It acts throughout the body. So unit of body force is Newton per meter cube. Okay. So some people are typing in chat box. It's okay. So surface force is Newton per meter square. Point load is Newton. Okay. So whoever types in the chat box, in future I may ask questions because I know that you people are active. Okay. Thank you for answering, and thank you for your response, K2 also. So let us see the stress and equilibrium equations. So let us consider a 3-dimensional body. It is 3 forces are acting on it. Due to 3 forces, some reaction may happen in that. So due to that reaction, that particular body will be opposing the forces, and stresses are induced in the body. Okay. So let us consider the body forces BF. So since we are in the 3D environment, I am considering f of x, f of y, and f of z. Traction forces are considered T of x, T of y, and T of z. Okay. So 97 participants are there. At 11:40, I will take attendance again. Okay. So it's default in my class. I will always take 10 minutes extra. So if anybody is not there at that point of time, I may give absent. Okay. So traction forces T of x, T of y, and T of z. Point loads P of x, P of y, and P of z. Okay. So there are 3 types of forces. Due to 3 types of forces, you have displacements. Okay. That particular object will deform. So deformation in x direction is u, deformation in y direction is v, deformation in the z direction is w. This is very important because in the beams and bars, you will be dealing with the terms u and v. If you do not know what is u and v, again there you fail to learn. Okay. So that's the reason why I'm stressing on these topics and I'm going slowly. So in future classes, I may not go this much slow. I'll be in the I'll be teaching in a quicker pace. Okay. So P not unmute yourself and tell me what is UVW. P not.
Hello, sir.
What is UVW? UVW. Yes,
Displacements.
displacements, but in which directions?
XYZ directions.
Okay, thank you, P not. Okay. So this is the terminology. You should know the syntax before knowing about the program. Just like that, you have to know what is B of F. B of F is body force. F of X, F of Y, F of Z. T is traction. T of X, T of Y, T Z. P is point load. U is displacement due to all those forces in all these three directions. So from this solid, from middle of it, I will take a small portion of it and observe what are the various forces on it. Okay. So this. So let us consider a cube from the center of the solid, which is fixed at one end and loaded with three types of load. Okay. So that small infinitesimally small element is like, it is very small, like volume of that particular element is 0, but not 0. Okay. So you will take an infinitesimally small element and whose sides are parallel to the coordinate axis X, Y, and Z. Okay. Volume of this particular solid is dx into dy into dz. Okay. So due to the forces on this solid, internally some stresses are generated. Okay. So a plane which is perpendicular to x-axis is called x-plane. So you see the mouse pointer, that is called x-plane. Okay. So for all these planes, these stresses are induced. Okay. So all of you see in the left side portion of the so can you see the movement of mouse? Can you see the movement of mouse? Okay. So that is x-plane. Perpendicular to x-axis, a normal stress is induced. On the surface, shear stresses are induced. So to balance that, by using Taylor series expansion, you got another kind of stress here, which balances stresses in the left side. So you can see sigma x plus dou sigma x by dou x into dx. Okay. So in that fashion, you have to write the equations. Okay. I repeat again. So all of you focus on this particular side and this particular side. This is called x-plane. On x-plane, due to the many forces, two types of stresses are induced. One is normal stress in the x direction, and two shear stresses in that x-plane. Okay. So in the left side, you observe there is a shear stress sigma x. There is a normal stress sigma x and shear stress sigma x, tau xy and tau xz. In the right side, you can see there is a sigma x, and you can see that it is added by a Taylor series expansion. Okay. So all of you note down this Taylor series expansion in your notes. After completion of the class, you go to the web and observe what is Taylor series expansion so that you can understand. Okay. So what we will do generally is we will write these equations for all the planes and we will find out equilibrium. You all know what is equilibrium. So you have to summate all the forces in all directions and make them equal to 0. So let us see what is sigma forces in the x direction. So forces in the x direction are these. Okay. So I'll be sharing my notes if needed, or you can borrow it from C section students. It's there with them. D section students can borrow notes with them. Okay. Already they have the soft copies of the notes. So you can go through the notes clearly later. Since it is a revision class, I am just naming them. Okay, so you have to do sigma f of x is equal to 0 and summate all the equations. When you solve it, some terms get cancelled. You are left with this equation. Okay. Okay. So when you remove dv, you will get this equation: dou sigma x by dou x, dou tau yx by dou y, dou zx by dou z plus f of x is equal to 0. Similarly, you need to perform the equation for sigma f of z and f of y. Here I wrote f of x, it's a mistake. Sigma f of z and f of y. If you sum it, you will ultimately get this equation. Okay. So this group of equation is called equilibrium equations in finite element method. Okay. So you can expect, if you are writing a descriptive exam, you can expect this particular derivation as an essay question. Whereas if you are writing objective question, you can expect this as a fill in the blank or one word question. Okay. So this is the equation. You need to remember these three equations. Okay. So same thing I have explained here. These equations, so ANSYS solve internally. These are called 3D equations. Okay. When you write these equations in the matrix form, you will get like this. This is called 3D stress tensor. Okay. So you note a point. This is an essay question. Finding equilibrium equations is an essay question. So let us go to the this particular part. So in mechanical engineering, there are three streams like structural engineering, fluid flow analysis, and thermal analysis. So in fluid flow analysis, you calculate displacement. In the fluid flow analysis, you calculate pressure. In thermal analysis, you calculate temperature. So before seeing this, you should know what is field variable. Can anyone explain me what is field variable? Can anyone explain me what is field variable? You can see field variable there. Can anyone explain what is field variable? See, these are basics. Without knowing these basics, you cannot clear this subject. Okay. You can simply mug up some equations, but it won't help you. All subjects are different. FEM is different. You have to know certain things in order to solve the problems. Anyone? Shiva from Mechanical C, can you answer what is a field variable? Basic field variable is the primary thing you require. Shiva, can you answer? Yes?
Yes, sir. It's a basic quantity in which we require to calculate in order to obtain further analysis and parts like stress. So the
Okay.
basic units are displacement, pressure, and temperature.
Mm.
From there, we will calculate stresses, strains, and everything else.
Okay. So I'll summarize what you have said. So as you all know, objective of engineering analysis is to find out stresses, strain. If it is structural problem, our objective is to find stress. If it is flow problem, our objective is to find out flow rate. If it is a thermal problem, our objective is to find out heat transfer rate. If you want to find out all these terms, all these values, you have to know the basic thing. Okay, that basic thing is called field variable. Okay, what is field? Again, if you have a beam, that is called a field. That is the domain. Okay, so field variable, as the name suggests, it varies throughout the section or throughout the body. Okay, so in the structural analysis, U is called field variable. In the fluid flow analysis, pressure is called field variable. In thermal analysis, temperature is called field variable. So what is the significance of this field variable? So when you are solving a problem, you will first find out these terms. Either you will find out displacements Q1, Q2, Q3, or you will find out P1, P2, P3, or T1, T2, T3. Later on, by using those terms, you will calculate the secondary quantities like stress and displacement. Okay, I hope this is clear. Even if it is not clear, take the notes and learn, because you have to write the examination. Next is boundary conditions. This is not much important topic, but I have to explain. So you all know that this is in this mathematical method, you have governing equations. In order to get solution out of the governing equations, you have to apply the boundary conditions. So I can say that boundary conditions are known values. If a body is fixed, you know that displacement is 0 at that location. If you have a simply supported beam, you know that stress at the maximum bending point is 0. Okay. So when you apply the known things to the system of equations, you can find out unknown things. So that is the use of boundary conditions. Okay. Can anyone answer that? K7, can you answer? K7 is there. I don't know names. I don't know, even I forgot all names of few people. K7, can you answer? What is boundary condition? See, I can see that slowly participants are going away. I request Ravi sir, sir, I'll be taking 5 more minutes extra, like after 11:35 or 11:40. So at that time, I will again ask you people to raise hands. Okay. So
Okay, sir.
I don't bother if you even scold me, because ultimate objective is to make you people understand and learn. Okay. So in that process, if you hate me, I don't care. Kate, whom I ask question, K7. What is boundary condition? Please explain. K7.
Hello, sir.
Chepam.
These are constraints which are used to solve problem.
The governing equations. Okay, thank you. I'll summarize. So you have governing equations. Those equations are solved by using the known conditions that are called boundary conditions. So you don't know what is the deformation, what is the pressure, what is the temperature at various locations of the body. So you can find out the unknown things by using the boundary conditions. There are two types of boundary conditions: essential and natural boundary conditions. Essential boundary conditions are displacements. Natural boundary conditions are second order derivatives of the essential boundary conditions. Okay. So in order to solve, get a solution, you have to have essential boundary conditions. So that is the reason why it is named essential. And without them, you cannot find out solution. Whereas coming to the natural boundary conditions, those are secondary boundary conditions like stresses, strains. Okay. So at particular locations, stress may be 0. So that condition is called natural boundary conditions. Okay. So they are having various names. So essential boundary condition is also called geometric boundary condition, displacement boundary condition, etc. Okay. Please go through it. So it's a simple topic. You can expect it for only 1 mark. Okay. This tetrahedron is again surface boundary condition. So when there is a surface traction, it induces a stress called normal stress. Okay. So what we will do is just like when you chop a watermelon, you will cut the top piece and try to remove it and check it. In the similar fashion, you will remove a tetrahedron from the top of the body, and due to that, due to the traction forces, various stresses are induced on each plane of the tetrahedron. On the top of tetrahedron, there is a traction force that is resolved into Tx, Ty, and Tz. Due to these 3 traction forces, traction stresses are induced. Normal stresses and shear stresses are induced. And you will write equilibrium equation, again same process followed like in the previous, and you will get to this conclusion. So this is the equilibrium equation condition when you consider only effect of traction on the surface. So earlier what we have done in the previously, we have taken a infinitesimally small element from the core of the body. But here, to solve these equations, what I have done is I have taken a body from the top of the body, okay, and write the equations. Again, same this question also you can you can expect for essay, but this is not that much important when compared with the previous derivation. Okay, previous derivation is more important than this, but it's better to know. Okay, so go through the notes. So strain displacement relations. So you have to learn these equations. So all of you take the screenshot or write it on the paper, because in unit number 4, in unit number 3, you will deal with this formula. So sigma x is equal to dou u by dou x. So you all know epsilon is strain equation, strain formula is equal to change in the length by original length. So change in the length is dou u by dou x in the x direction. So in that fashion, you have to understand. Just you should not mug up. Okay. So all of you please make a note of this epsilon x, epsilon y, and epsilon z. Okay. Dou u by dou x, dou v by dou y, dou w by dou z. Again, you are finding the shear strain in xy plane. Shear strain is equal to dou u by dou y plus dou v by dou x. Okay. Shear strain in yz plane. In that fashion, it is there. Okay, take a screenshot. Okay. So how we got this formula? There is a derivation. Okay. Again, you have to learn this derivation. I'm not going to explain this derivation. Okay, I have only 8 hours to explain entire FEM. So that is not that much important. But you cannot roll out the chance of getting that question in the exam. So it's better to learn. Learning the things is always better. Same thing, all stress strain relations are explained. So you know this relation, Hooke's law relation, 3D Hooke's law equation. So you all know this. So if you go through this derivation, you will find out how to solve this. So again, I'm not going into that derivation, how we got that derivation. Okay. So this is 3D Hooke's law equations. This equation is useful in unit number 4 or unit number 3 also. Sometimes we use this. There directly we use this equation. Okay. So take a note or take a screenshot, or you all have material with you. You cannot say come up with excuses that you don't have material, you don't have textbooks. You have everything you need with you. Only thing is you lack is interest. Okay, and focus. So at least temporarily inculcate those habits for the sake of examinations. Okay. So you have to be aware of these equations. So again, same thing, that derivation is explained. This is stress strain equations. Okay. So by mistakenly it came like that. This is not much importance. Okay. That's why I'm skipping. So you all know plane stress and plane strain conditions. We'll get in the unit number 3. Okay. There I will explain in unit number 3 and unit number 4. I will explain what is plane stress and plane strain. Now I am skipping. Okay, this derivations also you will learn. If someone who know unit number 3 and unit number 4, they know these terms. Okay, so here I just mentioned because this is introduction class. So next is finite element method. Okay, tomorrow most probably I may complete unit number 1 part 1 and 2 most probably. Okay, I'll be moving in the faster pace. So anyone having any doubt, they can raise hand regarding preparation, anything they can ask, how to prepare, which textbook to follow. Okay. So all of you raise your hands finally. Final hand raise. I have lowered all the hands. Raise again. So 8 people left, 3 people left. Okay, earlier there are 98 participants. If anybody is having any doubt, they can ask. No doubts. See, just listening class doesn't fetch you anything. Take the notes, open the textbook in the Google Books, try to read. Okay, dedicate some time. Then only you will be able to like smoothly clear the exam, write the exam. Just listening, logging in the class, and not paying attention doesn't fetch you anything. Okay, tomorrow be prepared for the class, like extra hours also I may take. So charge your phone, sit near the charging port, and pay attention. Now you can leave. Thank you. If anybody is having questions, I'll wait for 2 minutes without logging out, so they can interact with me. Sir, Ravi sir, thank you, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. If anyone is having any doubt, they can ask. No doubts? Okay, someone typed in the chat box. Let me check. Textbooks, I said no in the starting of the class, N7. Textbooks is like in Google you can search for Chandraputla textbook. See on the screen, N7. You type this Introduction to Finite Elements in Engineering, Tirupati R. Chandraputla textbook in the Google. You can find out that textbook there. You can download PDF copy of that. And textbook easy to follow is Ramurthy I prefer. Okay, like Ramurthy is easy to understand. Like it doesn't scare student. Some people might be using Jalaluddin also. Jalaluddin also you can prefer, but it's very lengthy book. Instead of explaining a concept in 1 line, he explains in 10 lines. So if you have a lot of patience to read any textbook, you can always go and look like book called Ramurthy and Chandraputla. Ramurthy. Okay. So if I classify all the books, Ramurthy is the easiest one to understand. Chandraputla is the next, and I prefer Jalaluddin as last option because I don't like the way he explains the things. Still, anyone is having any doubt? They can interact with me. I am available. Or else you can easily, happily log out. Okay. Okay, if that's the case, I am just ending the session. So thank you. Always. So you'll P1, you'll get to know like where do we have online meets. Okay, you will get timetable and everything within few days, and you will know. So still any questions? Paper pattern for SEM also. So you will in website notification will be released. In that they will explain. Okay, so go through that. So you have applied exam. You will apply exam. No, after that you will get a detailed notification with the timetable in the CVR College website. Please go through that website for the pattern of the examination. Okay. Okay, I'm leaving then. Thank you all. See you tomorrow.